Let's make this minimalist game day graphic in Photoshop. We're gonna start by bringing in our player cutout. This is a 2-player cutout from a shot I got at championship weekend this past year. And I'm just gonna size this about here for now. We can always adjust the sizing later, but I'm gonna center the whole thing by holding Command, hitting A. With the move tool selected, you got these icons at the top. That is the center justify icon. So we're centering it kind of on the lower third of the canvas. I'm gonna start adding foot shadows. So let's make a new layer and put this layer below the player cutout. Hit B for your brush tool, set the foreground color to black, and with the brush options, we're gonna condense this brush down so it's just like a little sliver of an oval. And drop the flow down to something like 7% should be good. We're just gonna brush in some shadows foot by foot here. We can start with this one. Just gonna click and holding Shift, click again to draw like a straight line from point A to point B. Can do this with a few of these and just kind of get that like darkest shadow where the foot is making contact with the ground. Same thing with the toe over here. And because the flow is set to 7, we're gonna have to like click a bunch of times or click and drag around to get that darkness. And then same thing with this. So that's kind of our base layer of shadows. Let's make a new layer. And this one, I'm just gonna like make the brush a little bit bigger and start branching off from the shadow. So not that dark, but something like that off to the right. I'm going off to the right with these just because it looks like the light is hitting a little bit harder on the left side. So something like that. And now let's make a new layer and I'm just gonna kind of fill in the remaining white space and just kind of make it feel like there's a bit of a floor that these cutouts are standing on. You can keep making new layers, you can keep adjusting these as you need to. You can always adjust the opacity too, like if that was too dark of a floor that I created, just decreasing it a little bit. And you can also transform these too, Command T to transform, and you can drag these shadows out if you want it covering a slightly larger area. But something around here I feel like is pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this whole cutout into Camera Raw filter next. So this is our like player retouching. Let's go up to filter, Camera Raw filter, and we'll start with our light settings, just boosting the exposure, adding some contrast and lowering the highlights. I like to boost the shadows too. Probably get a little bit brighter, maybe boosting the white slightly. And then going to the effects, texture and clarity, always nice to pop out the details. And then going down to detail, I do like to increase the noise reduction. So something like 30 just kind of smooths everything out. So we'll hit OK. So now we've got our cutout layer, all these shadow layers. Let's group all these together and just call it cutout. And then on our player cutout layer, let's bring in an inner glow by going to your effects and inner glow. We'll have this blend mode set to overlay and the color we'll use white, and you can adjust the size, but you can see this is just kind of like brightening the edges. I like doing this effect when we're on a light or white background, just kind of brings a little bit more emphasis on the players. So we'll hit enter, and the last thing I'll do with these cutouts is add on a hue and saturation adjustment layer. So if you clip this layer to the player cutout layer by holding Option, hovering in this space and clicking, we now have the hue and saturation layer only affecting our player cutout. So we can get rid of any colors we don't want. What I want to do is remove the blue from like all these white and black tones. So if you take the blue saturation all the way down, you can also bring down the magentas. Don't need those. You can see what the greens are doing too. Yellows and reds we'll probably keep as they are, but you can also play around with boosting these. So we're gonna leave our cutout there. Let's go to our background layer and just unlock it. We've just got a white background right now. I want to make this more of a gradient. So let's go to your effects and go to gradient overlay. And I have this radial gradient set. So I've got this like light gray color, CA, going to white. And I've got at 100% opacity with a normal blend mode at 45 degrees. I never really know what the angle does for the radial style. I guess it does make a difference. So let's just keep it at 45. You can see adjusting the scale just kind of makes it a gradual fade. So let's make it 150%. And you can see just a before and after with the gradient overlay. Just kind of gives a very, very gradual vignetting to the whole thing and kind of keeps a spotlight on the center. Kind of mimics like a studio lighting setup. Now I'm also gonna add in this middle stripe for our background. So let's make a new layer. I'm gonna bring up my grids by holding Command and hitting apostrophe, and going to your shape tool, we'll do a rectangle tool. Let's draw out, I'm gonna use this 2-box radius, just a little box like that. We can deactivate the stroke and just set this to a black fill. And I just wanna be precise here, so let's make it exactly 2 boxes, so 1 inch. Then I'm gonna duplicate this with Command J, we'll drag it over here, and then again, Command J, we're gonna put this one in the middle, and we're also gonna make this one half the width. So if you hit Command T to transform, you can go up to these width and height percentages and just make the width 50%, hit enter twice, and now we've got a 3rd stripe that is half the size of these other boxes. And now for the color on this middle one, I'm gonna eyedropper something from the Boston guy's jersey. So let's take like something dark enough to contrast on white. And now we can select all these rectangles, group them, call it stripe, and Command T, we can drag them down like this. So I'm gonna align it up with the top, and we'll drag them all the way to our cutout and center it. Again, Command A to select the whole thing, center justify, and we can also top justify so it's perfectly lined up. Now to make sure our rectangles are perfectly spaced, let's select all of them within the stripe layer and just click this horizontal distribution icon at the top. And I kind of wish there was a little bit less white space between these, so let's nudge these over. I think just 1 arrow key while holding shift. So I think that's 10 pixels. So again, just making sure this is centered. Now I'm gonna drop on a texture on top of the background. So going back into my folder, I've got this wall texture, kind of has this nice like finer detail. I'm gonna set the blend mode to screen, so you're really only gonna see the white detail from that texture. So you'll see it really well on the stripe, see it a little bit in the gray parts, in the corners of the design, but I really like this effect. I think it's a nice subtle texture for this design, so that's what we're going with today. And we can start rounding out the composition with some text. I'm gonna make a new layer on top of everything and hit T for my type tool. We'll use a black foreground color for this. We're just gonna click once, and I've got my text edit window open with a bunch of game information. I'm gonna take 3 of these clusters, copy it, and paste it in here. For the font, we're using Times Regular, a classic. We're using 100 spacing between letters. And for the font size, I'm gonna bring it way down to 12. Can also increase the space between lines. What's it at? 17, I think 27. So now you have like each of these 2-line clusters taking up exactly 1 box of space, which I just like having that consistency. There's also 2 boxes between each of these clusters. So we're gonna keep this over here, and we're gonna use a 3-box margin from either side. I'm gonna duplicate this layer with Command J and drag this one over here. Now our last element is this Breeze Stevens field with the longitude and latitude coordinates. So I'm just gonna paste that in, and again, using this 3-box margin. Well, first, let's actually bring it over and make sure it's got the same vertical spacing from the rest of the text. So again, 2 boxes between all of these. Then we'll move it over to that 3-box margin on the right. Now for our last bit of text, I'm gonna hit Command J again and bring it over to the top left. This is where we are going to put the title of the graphic, Game Day. So I'm just gonna type out Game Day. We'll get rid of the all caps, and I'm gonna change the font to this font called Hermione. Don't know how to pronounce it. Go back to 0 spacing between letters, and we'll just blow this up so the letters make sense in the grid. So again, 3 boxes from the left. So now we've got 2 boxes of vertical spacing between the title and the Breeze Stevens field text, and then 2 more boxes of spacing between our text on the left here. Now to further emphasize the title, I'm actually gonna create like a little circle around it, like someone just circled it with a pen. So let's make a new layer. To do this effect, you can make an ellipse and draw it out, to the approximate width of the text. And for this shape, if you go back to your shape tool, you can put a stroke on it and set the fill to 0. Stroke should be 1 pixel. And now we can adjust the size, and we can even like turn it a little bit so it looks a little less perfect. You might just leave your circle like that. If you want to simulate more of like a handwritten circle effect, there's a few things you can do. So 1, I'm just going to take a mask on this ellipse, and with a black brush, going back to a full size brush with 100% flow, I'm going to set my hardness back to 100, You can do that in the settings here. I'm just gonna click over here and make it kind of like an incomplete circle. So it's as if someone had a pen, had a starting point and an end point that didn't completely close the circle. We can also vary the weight of the line a little bit. If we hit Command J to duplicate this layer, you can see that darkened it a little bit. You can also nudge it just up one arrow key. And then I'm gonna take this duplicated layer and drop it into its own folder and then put a inverted mask on the folder. So you can hold Option and click on the mask icon. This is basically hiding this whole layer. So we just have the initial ellipse that we created, but now in a hidden folder, we have the second ellipse. And now with our brush, we can bring the hardness back to 0. You can just pick some spots to like bring in this extra weight of the line with a white brush on the black mask. That's going to reveal back some of this layer. So maybe on that edge, you can click up here and you just get a little bit of variance. So see how it's like a little bit darker, a little bit thicker up there, a little bit thicker on the edge. And maybe we end with some thickness as well. That just kind of gradually fades out. So it just makes it look a little bit more human, a little bit inconsistent. So I'm gonna group these together, the two ellipses and the game day. Just call it game day. Now that we have all our elements in, we can readjust the spacing. So I can bring the cutout down a good bit. We can use that 3-box margin down at the bottom and take our stripe, Command T to transform, just bring it down so it gets naturally cut off. Maybe we could blow up our cutout a little bit. So Command T and just making it slightly bigger. Last steps with this graphic are just some finishing effects. Let's make a folder on top of everything, call it finishing, and let's make a new layer. If you hit Shift Delete, you'll get this fill box to come up. We're gonna fill it with 50% gray at 100% opacity. Then we can convert this for smart filters and go up to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. This is gonna add some grain to the image. 7% is good, and we'll shift this blend mode to hard light, fill set to 50%. So now if you zoom in, you can see a little bit of graininess throughout the graphic. I'm also going to drop on a color lookup. I think 3-strip look. Yeah, 3-strip look really pops out. The skin tones does a great job bringing a little bit more life into the graphic. You could reduce the opacity here if you didn't want as strong an effect, like 70%. It's pretty good. I'm also gonna go for a color and vibrance adjustment layer. This is a new thing in Photoshop 2026. So you can finally adjust the temperature and tint with an adjustment layer. For whatever reason, you couldn't do that before, but I just wanna warm this whole thing up just because we have this like gold color from Boston. Warming it all up kind of gives the background more of like a gold glow to it. Maybe we want to do a little bit of saturation, but I don't want to go overboard. So maybe just a few points there. You can see it before and after for the finishing effects. Really just pops out the color that we already had. Just brings a little bit more emphasis to our existing elements. So we're gonna stop here. That is our finished minimalist game day graphic design. I really like this style of just isolating a good action shot where you have multiple players in the same photo. Having 2 players just takes up a little bit more space and makes it really easy to build around it with different elements. This background stripe, by the way, I feel like it would be really good for like a football poster where you have a stripe on the helmet, maybe reflecting that into the graphic would be cool, but you know, could do it with any sport. I think it works fine for this Frisbee graphic. You do have the stripe that I just noticed, and maybe this is why I went this direction, but this middle stripe on the Boston jersey, similar concept here. Obviously we added the black in there too, but I think anytime you can kind of have a repetitive theme within a graphic, whether it's a reference to the jersey or the uniform as a whole, I think that's always a good touch. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.